In 30 years, lenders have been required to provide disclosure forms to consumers applying for a mortgage, and those forms can be confusing. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is hoping to clarify them. One form would outline a loan's features, costs, and risks. A second would explain all the fees. The goal is to help consumers decide whether they can afford the loan. Your home is likely the biggest purchase of your life. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau says the paperwork should clearly lay out the terms of the deal. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
More unwelcome news for investors and the makers of BlackBerry's Research in Motion. Less than 2 weeks after announcing yet another delay in its upcoming BlackBerry 10 system, considered crucial to its future, it is now expected in the first quarter of next year, not late this year. This is ABC News.
Americans are talking about energy.
They know we need energy from all sources.
To put Americans back to work.
And keep our nation secure.
Developing domestic energy.
American oil and natural gas.
Advanced technologies are making it possible.
Protecting the environment.
A new era of energy security.
Americans are becoming energy voters.
They're voting to re-energize America.
They're voting for American energy.
Learn more at voteforenergy.org.
Brought to you by the American Petroleum Institute.
Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
WTBQ weather. We could have a stray shower around for the evening commute, otherwise turning out partly cloudy tonight. Lows drop down to 55 to 60. Now, partly sunny day tomorrow. There is a slight risk of another passing shower. Highs top out a bit warmer in the mid to upper 80s. Now, nothing more than a few passing clouds for Wednesday night, and for Thursday, we'll have sunshine through a couple of high clouds. Highs reach the mid to upper 80s by afternoon. From the WTBQ Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Mike Mahalik.
WTBQ.
Hello and welcome to ANGT Radio 93.5 WTBQ. Get up, wake up, and move America. Let's get it done and bring it back. Our health, fitness, wellness with that pure positive attitude to be the very best we can be. And how do we achieve this? What do we need to do? What changes do we need to make? Well, that's what we're here to talk to you about. Hello, everyone. I'm your host, Rob Fletcher, and welcome to ANGT Radio 93.5 WTBQ, where we want to educate, inspire, motivate, energize, and empower you. We are all about health, fitness, and getting you and helping you to be the best you can be. America's Next Great Trainer, promoting and acknowledging great trainers, coaches, instructors, inspirational and motivational leaders, nutritionists, lifestyle consultants, beauty and skincare specialists, athletes, celebrities, role models, everyday people sharing empowering stories with all of you so that we can all live a more positive, healthier, happier, fit, and active lifestyles. As I said, I'm Rob Fletcher, and I'm your host today, and we have some great guests. We have from Dr. Oz, Donovan Green, and we have also Master Trainer Jeff Billingsley. Now, I came across an interesting report out of Johns Hopkins. It is a cancer update, and as we all know, there is a significant impact in regards to our health, not only mentally and emotionally in the foods we eat, but obviously physically. So I would like to share this with you. It's an extremely good article, and I believe that everyone should hear it and read it. It's amazing information on what feeds cancer and what other treatment is available after years of telling people chemotherapy is the only way to try, being the key word, to eliminate cancer. Johns Hopkins is finally starting to tell you that there is an alternative way. So this cancer update, again, from Johns Hopkins, reports a few things. One, every person has cancer cells in the body. These cancer cells do not show up in the standard tests until they have multiplied to a few billion. When doctors tell cancer patients that there are no more cancer cells in their bodies after treatment, it just means the tests are unable to detect the cancer cells because they have not reached the detectable size. Cancer cells occur between 6 to more than 10 times in a person's lifetime. When the person's immune system is strong, the cancer cells will be destroyed and prevented from multiplying and forming tumors. So again, when the person's immune system is strong, the cancer cells will be destroyed and prevented from multiplying, forming tumors. When a person has cancer, it indicates the person has nutritional deficiencies. These could be due to genetic, but also to environmental, food, and lifestyle factors. To overcome the multiple nutritional deficiency, changing diet to eat more adequately and healthy 4 to 5 times per day, and by including supplements that will strengthen the immune system. This is such important information. I think people overlook the fact that they are putting very deadly foods into their body, which ultimately does lead to cancer. Chemotherapy involves poisoning the rapidly growing cancer cells and also destroys rapidly growing healthy cells in the bone marrow, gastrointestinal tract, and can cause organ damage like liver, kidneys, hearts, and lungs. Radiation, while destroying cancer cells, also burns, scars, and damages healthy cells, tissues, and organs. Initial treatment with chemotherapy and radiation will often reduce tumor size. However, prolonged use of chemotherapy and radiation do not result in more tumor destruction. When the body has too much toxic burden from chemotherapy and radiation, the immune system is either comprised or destroyed. Hence, the person can succumb to various kinds of infections and complications. Chemotherapy and radiation can cause cancer cells to mutate and become resistant and difficult to destroy. Surgery can also cause cancer cells to spread to other sites. An effective way to battle cancer is to starve the cancer cells by not feeding it with the foods it needs to multiply. Again, an effective way to battle cancer is to starve the cancer cells by not feeding it with the foods it needs to multiply. Again, this is a report out of Johns Hopkins. It is a cancer update. Now, the cancer cells feed on, this is very, very important, the cancer cells feed on sugar substitutes like NutraSweet, Equal, Spoonful, etc., and are very harmful. A better natural substitute would be honey or molasses, but only in a very small amounts. Table salt has a chemical added to make it white in color. Better alternatives is Bragg's aminos or sea salt. B, milk causes the body to produce mucus, especially in the gastrointestinal tract. Cancer feeds on mucus. By cutting off milk and substituting with unsweetened soy milk, cancer cells are being starved. So again, milk causes the body to produce mucus, especially in the gastrointestinal tract. Cancers feed on mucus. By cutting off milk and substituting with unsweetened soy milk, cancer cells are being starved, again starving the cancers. And again, it all comes down to choices, healthy choices and healthy substitutes. Cancer cells thrive in an acid environment. A meat-based diet is acidic, and it's best to eat fish and as little other meat, like chicken. Meat also contains livestock antibiotics, growth hormones, and parasites, which are all harmful, especially to people with cancer. A diet made of 80% fresh vegetables and juice, whole grains, seeds, nuts, and little fruits help the body into an alkaline environment. About 20% can be from cooked food, including beans. Fresh vegetables, juices provide live enzymes that are easily absorbed and reach down to cellular levels within 15 minutes to nourish and enhance the growth of healthy cells. To obtain live enzymes for building healthy cells, try and drink fresh vegetable juice. Most vegetables, including bean sprouts, and eat some raw vegetables 2 to 3 times a day. Enzymes are destroyed at temperatures of 104 degrees Fahrenheit, 40 degrees Celsius. Avoid coffee, tea, and chocolate, which have high caffeine, green tea is a better alternative and has cancer-fighting properties. So again, healthy substitutes, green tea. And it's hard. I know I'm guilty of caffeine in the morning, my morning coffee, but green tea is definitely a healthy substitute, and I do opt for the green tea quite often. Green tea is a better alternative as has cancer-fighting properties. Water, best to drink purified water or filtered to avoid known toxins and heavy metals in tap water. Distilled water is acidic. Avoid it. Again, this is a great report, and I hope that you're writing some of this information down. Meat protein is difficult to digest and requires a lot of digestive enzymes. Undigested meat remaining in the intestines becomes purified and leads to more toxic buildup. Cancer cell walls have a tough protein covering. By refraining from or eating less meat, it's free from more enzymes to attack the protein walls of cancer cells and allows the body killer cells to destroy the cancer cells. Some supplements build up the immune system. For essence, I think we have Donovan on the line. Donovan Green, how are you?
What's going on, buddy?
How's it going? I'm just reading off, Donovan, a report from Johns Hopkins, and I wish you could have been here because I know that you would have definitely enjoyed hearing some of this, and I also believe you would have added to it. But before I continue on, just how's everything going? Then we'll share these last few points together. How's everything going, Donovan, my co-host?
Man, listen, man, everything is going great. I have not been there in a few weeks because we have been busy working on so many different things. We have so much stuff we're doing, man, along with the Muscle of Fitness magazine stuff coming up, getting those articles out there, trying to spread the word about what we're doing, and just spreading the love. Yes. How are you? How's things going with you?
Very, very, very excited. As you know, we were speaking earlier today. I'm very honored to be named to the advisory board of Muscle and Fitness magazine. So that's right. That was a great thing that happened, and editor-in-chief Sean Perrine notified me today. So I'm very excited about that. And then I know that you and I are going to be doing quite a few things. I know on a list is Gleason's Gym, legendary Gleason's in Brooklyn, and
boxing, that's right.
Yep, doing some boxing. But just tell us, Donovan, what's going on, and then I want you to go down this list with me. I'm going over this list, like I said, as a report from Johns Hopkins, but we'll go over it together. But What's going on in your world?
Well, in my world, what I've been doing right now, Rob, is trying to finalize this book stuff that I have working on right now. So I've been meeting up with the editors and a couple of people that want to get this thing done. So I've been working on this to get it promoted, trying to push that. Doing a lot more things facing obesity and trying to talk with kids. I just came to a school today in Connecticut, working with a few high school students. We did a kickboxing class, and I discussed with them about life and just what life is and what it should be, and success. Because, people think success is all about just money. And it's not really about money. It's about the spirit. How well do you feel? How healthy are you? That to me, that's success, to be able to live a successful life. So, that's what's going on my end, man. Every single day trying to fight this battle, man. Obesity is definitely a thing that needs to be addressed every single day by people who can address it, and trying to help the communities to understand more and more the importance of eating correctly and exercise. And when I say exercise, I'm not necessarily talking about just the physical part. I'm talking about the mental part, the spiritual part, the emotional
important,
part,
right?
The financial part. Those are the primary foods of fitness, So that's what's going on my end, man. Working hard.
Well, that's why I think, Donovan, you and I get along so well, is the fact that we both are so passionate about what we do, where it is a form of work. We just really want to address these issues, which we know can help not only us as individuals, but people and communities by continually going out there and aggressively doing these things that are going to empower and educate and motivate others to hopefully lead a more positive, healthy lifestyle. Now, Donovan, I want to go over these last few things and then get your thoughts. Basically what this is, it's an article regarding cancer and the fact that, eating foods have a direct relationship to cancer-causing cancers. So right now, cancer is a disease of the mind, body, and spirit. And I'm just going to read off the last few, and then you could just chime in when you feel.
Sure.
A proactive and positive spirit will help the cancer warrior be a survivor. Now, I know that you and I agree with that one.
Yeah.
Anger, unforgiveness, and bitterness put the body into a stressful and acidic environment. Learn to have a loving and forgiving spirit. Learn to relax and enjoy life. Donovan, how important is that?
Extremely important. Remember, stress feeds on disease. Disease feeds on stress. They go hand in hand. So important to learn to relax. And the most important thing is breathing.
And yes, and to let it go and don't, I know people get so caught up, between the financial stress, their careers, family life, relationships, the battles and the struggles. But I think especially now at this time, people have to learn to sort of sit back a little bit and somehow let go. Now, moving on, cancer cells cannot thrive in an oxygenated environment. Exercising daily and deep breathing, as you all heard Donovan say, help to get more oxygen down into the cellular level. Oxygen therapy is another means employed to destroy cancer cells.
Agreed.
So again, no plastic containers, no water bottles and freezers, no plastic wrap in microwave. These are little things, Donovan, that are really, I think, overlooked significantly.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely overlooked. If you hear anybody in the background making noise, this is my son.
No,
I'm sitting next to him.
You know I'm all about the kids, Donovan.
Yeah, that's right, man. But it's definitely overlooked. But I'm gonna tell you something that really bothers me a lot is the medical industry, and they know exactly what's going on. These pharmaceutical drug companies know what causes disease and what can harm people. But a lot of people are afraid to speak about it. But it's a real situation. It's a real serious thing, especially the plastic that we drink from and eat from every day. The toxins from that alone can cause major problems within the body.
Well, the way we started out was this information on what feeds cancer and what other treatment is available. And then, again, after years of telling people chemotherapy is the only way to try being the key word to eliminate cancer, Johns Hopkins is finally starting to tell you there is an alternative way, and that's what we're discussing right now. So in moving forward, I just want to now, how old is your son, Donovan?
Oh, my little guy, he's 24 months. No, 22 months. I'm sorry. He's 22 months old. He's a little guy. He's not even 2 yet. He's almost 2.
And how many children do you have?
I have 2. My 14-year-old in the back of the car sleeping, lucky guy. And the other one, the 22-month-old, he's trying to drive the car. Can you believe that, Rob? He's trying to drive the car, man.
And I have a funny feeling, Donovan, he's probably going to be driving the car.
Well, he's going to be driving the car before you know it, too. But it's about that.
All right, so now, moving on, Johns Hopkins has recently sent out in its newsletters, this information is being circulated at Walter Reed Army Medical Center as well. Dioxin chemicals causes cancer, especially breast cancer. Dioxins are highly poisonous to the cells of our bodies. Don't freeze your plastic bottles with water in them, as this releases dioxins from the plastic, as you were mentioning earlier.
Yes.
Recently, Dr. Edward Fujimoto, wellness program manager at Castle Hospital, was on a TV program to explain this health hazard. He talked about dioxins and how bad they are for us. He said that we should not be heating our food in the microwave using plastic containers. Now, I'm sure you were well aware of that.
Yeah, absolutely. But that's been out for years.
Right. But I just think people, like I said, they're still continually doing the things that they should avoid doing.
Well, that's the thing, though, Rob. I believe that a lot of people do stuff just to see how long they can get away with it. It's like, you tell a kid, like right now, my son, let me give you an example. My son, he's pressing this sunroof, right? He keeps on pressing the button. It goes back automatically. I'll close it, and I'll tell him to stop. And he's still doing it. He wants to see how long he can get away with it.
That's a great...
When he gets that mean face, he's like, all right, now I get the picture, right?
That is a great analogy.
Yeah, so adults, we do the same thing. We hear it a million times, but we say, you know what, that's not going to happen to me. That's 1 in a million. Well, my question is, what if you're the one out of a million? You know, what if you were the one out of a million who gets sick from something you could have simply avoided?
Yeah, and like you said, it's like sort of like the younger ones, like you said, a child maybe putting their finger or getting too close to a flame when they realize, oh, that's too hot, I can't touch that, until something actually happens, and unfortunately, in many cases, more significantly, a death caused by something that could have been prevented by paying attention to more healthy choices. But in moving on, that was a great report. And now I want to just talk briefly let's talk about some positive thoughts. I know you're all about that, Donovan.
Oh, of course.
So what do you do to stay motivated, and what can we share with the listeners to help motivate them, to keep them motivated or to get them motivated?
Well, I'm going to tell you, what keeps me motivated are the people, and I mean, as crazy as this might sound, is the people who are not doing so well in life. It motivates me to not be in that situation. 1 second, Rob.
Yeah.
It motivates me to not want to be in that situation. You know, I look at people and circumstances and situations, and I learn how to listen to people who have been in a certain predicament, and I learn how to not be in that predicament. And also, I learn how to be happy, man. Learning how to be happy, learning how to not let stress get the best of you. You know, because stress is the master, the leader of all things. If you
that is yes, I agree.
High blood pressure, stress. You look at heart disease,
cancer forming, yes.
Obesity caused by stress. You look at people who go out and rob people caused by stress. You know, stress is like the hidden thing. And they say money is the root of all evil, but what is the cause? You know, what's the cause? And stress leads to so many different things, Rob.
Yeah, you
so
know,
stay motivated. You know,
I agree with you. And some of the things that I like to share is I always found that writing things down and then prioritizing what's most important in life. Some people, you know, they can put money first, but actually the bottom line, if I had to say one word, people seek happiness. How can I be happy? Especially in now times, in today, they're trying to strive to get to that point of being happy. And I think what happens is people get caught up and dependent on either a situation, or person, place, or thing that will ultimately determine their happiness, when the fact is that will not, that until you're happy with yourself and where you are and from the inside out, that is when you will find true happiness. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, writing things down a priority, what brings you true joy and happiness. You know, obviously, when you feel good about yourself, most likely you're doing the right things. You're eating healthy, you're paying attention to exercise, fitness, and somewhat, although it's difficult, leading a more balanced lifestyle. And it's very hard to do these days. But I think by prioritizing, writing those keywords down, programming the computer, your mind, and what's most important. And I think if they start putting happiness at the top of the list, as opposed to those other things, if I get here, I'll be happy. If I have this, I'll be happy. If I get in this relationship, I'll be happy. If it works out with my boyfriend, I'll be happy. But that's all irrelevant. The bottom line is, you have to be happy with yourself, the way things are. And I think that in respect to what I do, I like reading a lot. So, you know, I look for those authors that are out there, you know, especially psychology. I love to read books on psychology, on how the mind works, positive reinforcement and conditioning. And I think people should also aspire to surround themselves with people of where they want to be in their world. If they want more happiness, you know, surround yourself with people that are happy.
I agree, Rob. I agree, man. You know what, too? I used to tell people a lot that there's this thing called, it's like a invisible mental chain, right? Is that when people think about happiness, they normally equate it to something that's material. For example, you know, I want to get this house. I'm going to buy the house. It's going to make me happy. I got to get this new car. It's going to make me happy. I have to get the date with this guy or the date with this girl. It's going to make me happy. Or I got to pay this cable. But those are chains. Those are things that really make you unhappy, because every single month that comes, you have to pay that bill. And that bill begins to accrue. It adds up. It accumulates. And then you're sitting back stressed out.
And then the stress begins, right?
Bothered, right. So those are not really, that's false happiness. You have to surround yourself, like you said, you know, you surround yourself around things and people that exemplifies happiness, that tells me and make me feel without effort then I'm happy.
I think once they, that is so important, because many of my friends are going through difficult times, whether it's career, relationships, but it's never really, if I get this or if this works out the way I want it to, will they define their own true happiness. So
yeah.
I think, again, paying attention to your personal self and your personal well-being, eating right, eating healthy, working out, giving yourself quality time, taking care of you, putting
That's
yourself as number one. And it's not selfish.
No,
I think people get caught up. I think especially mothers. Mothers think, I don't have the time, because they do. And all respect going out to them, because they do have a lot of responsibility in regard to taking care of their children. However, they need to put themselves number one, because when they are happy, it will result in happiness among others, their family members, their relationships, and again, it will also just be infectious with everything that they do, because they're taking care of themselves. And treat yourself well.
That's right. Agree, 100%. 100%.
So I think, do you have a favorite author, Donovan?
I have a favorite author. The author that I enjoy reading her books is Tosca Reno. I enjoy her books, The Eat Clean Diet. I think her series of books is amazing, because it's breaking down things to people in a very simple form, and it's talking about basically how to live a better lifestyle. It's not a diet, but it's called the Eat Clean Diet. And it's talking, it's breaking out how to eat healthy foods, what is eating clean, because people hear this all the time. And I'm a big believer in food is the cause of disease, and it can also be the cure of disease. And I've seen and met folks who have eaten the wrong way and acquired certain things, and then they start to eat the right way, and those things left their bodies. So Tosca Reno is who I love. Who you love, Rob? What do you like?
Well, I like quite a few in regard to the health and fitness world, but lately I've been reading Jack Canfield. Are you familiar with Jack?
Jack Canfield. No, that name doesn't.
Yeah, he's a motivational speaker, very spiritual. I also like Wayne Dyer, Bob Boyle, but I always like to feed my mind really good, strong, positive thoughts and how people achieve their level of success, meaning how they ultimately found their true happiness, not necessarily through wealth, although success has followed them because they focused on their happiness first and what they're passionate about. And again, that's things that I think a lot of people should think about is true happiness. If you're unhappy in a relationship, if you're unhappy with your career, change is tough to do. But to me, I'd rather make that change happen than go through life unhappy.
Right. I agree. Yeah.
So, and those decisions and choices are extremely difficult. And I know that a lot of people say people never change. I do not believe that for a second.
I do not believe that at all.
I think that's a very sad attitude, and I think that people do change. It's just a degree of how bad they want something. If someone has a bad habit of smoking cigarettes, well, they won't drop that habit until they're fully prepared to mentally and emotionally say, you know what? I know what I'm doing to myself. I know my kids don't want me doing this because I'm killing myself and hurting and harming myself, so I want to take care of me. Until they live up to commit, that's when change happens. But if you're going to do it at 50%, it's not going to work. You have to 100%, all or none, and you got to go. If you want to change your career, I know how many people do you know go to their jobs every day unhappy?
Listen, so many people, and they complain about the same job for like 15 years.
15
They complain about the same thing.
Donovan, can you imagine that? Waking up every day saying, I hate my job.
I refuse that. Listen, Rob. I left Jamaica in 1983, and I've been in America from that point, right? I can count on one hand how many jobs I've had. I worked at UPS. I worked with Bed Bath & Beyond. I worked at this place called Audits and Surveys, and a friend of mine owned a moving company, and I helped him to move people in offices and stuff like that. That's the only jobs I've ever really had working for other people. From that point, I realized I can't work for people. That's just not in my nature. I just can't do that. So I learned carpentry. I learned how to be a barber. I was a barber for over 15 15 years of my life. Electrician, plumbing. I was a DJ. I did so many things, but I always had this love for fitness. I always had this love for health. And let me tell you, that's what I'm doing every day. 4:30 a.m. every morning I wake up, not to a job, but to my lifestyle, and I love it. Love it.
Well, Donovan, that is so awesome. I can't tell you how happy I am that we actually cross paths, because there's so much synergy and commonalities and energy that I'm just so much looking forward to what we're going to be doing in the future. And I know that your energy level and your passion, it just exudes, and I know that you're impacting a lot of lives. Oh, by the way, before I forget, just give people the information how they could find you. And I know that we're out of your area, but if people tune in online, where can they find you?
Oh, they can find me in a few places. On the website, they can go to www.6elementsoffitness.com. That's one of the links. That's the number 6. It's the number 6, Elements of Fitness. And they can also find me at extremedefensivefitness.com. And if they're ever in the Connecticut area, they can come and visit me at LA Boxing in Norwalk, Connecticut.
LA Boxing, I tell you, those are nice facilities. I was in one. I was in Paramus, New Jersey. They have.
Oh yes, I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, they have the boxing ring set up and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you teach group classes there or personal training?
Yeah, I do both. I teach group classes there. I teach kickboxing, and I do MMA classes, and I do a lot of personal training sessions there.
So what? Let's see. Just before you go, let's get some Donovan inspirational and motivational tips.
Okay.
We already said that if you're doubting what you're doing, make a plan and make a change happen. But in the morning, what's the first thing Donovan says to himself to start his day?
Thank you for waking me up. That's the first thing. I tell the Lord, thank you for waking me up. That's the first thing that comes out of my mouth.
And we could talk about that for a while. But gratitude, how?
Oh man, it feels great.
How many people are forget all the great things that are happening in their life and are so caught up and focused on the negative things?
Oh man, you know what people are focused on? They're focused on what they don't have rather than what they do have. You know, you look at people around the world, and let me say that again. People are focused on what they do not have rather than what they have. There are people around the world who wish that they could have a job that's paying them $6 an hour.
That's right,
There are
Donovan.
people around the world who wish they had a toilet. They can go into a bathroom and sit down on it and actually do their business.
Gratitude. I understand.
Yeah, so people spend so much time looking at the rich and the famous and not realizing that they're also rich, not famous, but also rich in comparison to what other people around the world do not have. And another thing, too, anytime I sit down, I'm eating with my family.
That's awesome, Donovan. That is awesome.
Man, bro,
yeah.
Rob, let me tell you, man, I feel so good even saying this, that I'm able to go out there and buy food to eat, not worrying about starving, and that's a blessing every day. That's my motivation. That's what keeps me going.
Once again, we agree. Gratitude and being thankful, and I agree with you 100%. And Donovan, as always, great speaking with you. I miss you, brother. Looking forward to getting you back.
I'll be back there, bro. I'll be back there, man. Trust me. I know we were distance away, but Rob, we're still buddies, still partners. I'm still with the family.
I know you're right here, Donovan, and you take care of that super tiny tiger of yours, and I'll talk to you very soon.
Of course, brother.
All right, Donovan. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was Donovan Green from Dr. Oz. Awesome, super energized person. And now on the line, we have Master Trainer Jeff Billingsley. Jeff, how are you?
I'm great, Rob. How are you?
Very, very well, thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you. I'm delighted to be on the show today, and just really excited about what we do and serving our communities. My name is Jeff Billingsley.
Yeah, I'll just share with people, Jeff, if you don't mind, a couple of things. One, I met Jeff a while back, another very inspirational trainer, and that was just Donovan Green on the line. Jeff from Dr. Oz, another great. I call trainers now in today's times life transformers, because it goes so far beyond physical development. It goes into the mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being of the individuals, and actually having the ability to coach and consult and actually have that empowering way to reach out and to change someone's life. So I think life transformers are what many trainers should be called. Not all, but most. And that's what America's Next Great Trainer is all about. But now, I met Jeff a while back, and I was very caught up with his ability to change and impact other people. I've heard him speak. I see him interact, and he has a wealth of knowledge to share with people, a very passionate trainer. And so I asked him to join our mission with America's Next Great Trainer, again, to educate, motivate, inspire, energize, and empower others, promoting positive, healthy, fit, active lifestyles. And Jeff has always been at the events, always been willing to pitch in 110%. So, Jeff, with that said, give others a little bit more of a background on yourself.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I don't know what more I can say, Rob. I'm just really delighted to be a part of the team, America's Next Great Trainer. We share a common passion for health and wellness. And, again, I am one of the master trainers with America's Next Great Trainer, certified personal trainer through WITS and nutritionalist through .fit. I'm also very passionate about leadership development. I'm a PHR as well, and I teach leadership development. And that's kind of the holistic approach that I take with personal training. And it's kind of like what Rob said. We at America's Next Great Trainer, we are life transformers. It's not just about getting in the gym and working out. It's more of a holistic approach in terms of health and wellness. Each of us have one thing in common, no matter how old we are, how young we are, what race we are. We all share one thing in common, and that is how much time we have to dedicate ourselves to health and wellness. We have 168 hours in a week, and how we choose to spend those 168 hours in a balanced way allows us to achieve our health and wellness goals. So I always look at the holistic approach, whether how we allocate time around health and wellness, spiritual, family, and so forth, really lends itself to getting to your outcomes that you want to achieve around health and wellness. Today I thought I'd spend some time talking about two things when it comes to health and wellness. And that is, number one, what we do at America's Next Great Trainer, if Rob hasn't already mentioned, is educating youth and serving our communities through the education of health and wellness. I wanted to talk to you about a holistic approach to health and wellness, and then I wanted to talk to you about how to execute that. So when I say a holistic approach to health and wellness, I'm really talking about four components that really allow you to achieve your goals. And that's rest, the proper rest, in between working out, and the proper rest, getting your sleep at night. If you want to lose weight, you've got to get the proper rest. The proper rest allows you to process insulin properly. Without getting a proper rest overnight, you're not going to be able to process insulin properly, and you're not going to be able to lose weight. So rest is a critical factor. Resistance training. Resistance training is critical. Making sure you're getting that resistance training to strengthen your muscles so that you are burning those calories in a more effective way. And then cardio training. Cardio is very, very important. When I talk about cardio, I'm really talking about exercising your heart muscle and really getting that heart into triple digits. And when it comes to cardio, it's really all about knowing what you want to get your heart rate into, that target heart rate level. And it's a simple formula for that. We talked about education. It's just 220 minus your age times about 85% of your heart rate.
And that's where people would want to be at to get a workout that would have a real strong impact.
Yeah, that's a great point. Let me make sure I'm clear on that. You take 220 minus your age times about 85%. That means that you're working your heart rate at 85%. The simple fact is, the longer you're working your heart at that 85%, the stronger your heart is, and the more you lose weight. Now, you don't want to jump in at 85%. You want to progressively get your heart rate up to that 85% efficiency. That's called your target heart rate zone. So when it comes to cardio, knowing your target heart rate zone, knowing your max heart rate, knowing your resting heart rate are essential to losing weight. It's also essential to living a healthy lifestyle. Cardio is essential. And then the last thing is nutrition. Nutrition is critical. There's so many different books on nutrition, so many different people talking about nutrition. I'm quite sure Dr. Oz talked about nutrition. But really understanding your caloric intake, understanding what it takes for your body to operate efficiently. We're all different. Having a balanced, efficient diet is essential. Caloric intake involves knowing your sodium intake, which is essential. Knowing your protein intake, which is essential. You're looking at 1 to 1.5 grams of protein per pound of body weight. That's lean body mass. So if you weigh 220 pounds, that doesn't mean that you should take in 200 grams of protein. You want to subtract your fat, your body fat, get your lean body mass, and that's how much protein you should take in for those pounds. So 1 pound for every 1 ounce of protein for every 1 pound of lean body mass. But cardio is nutrition's essential. So again, rest, resistance, cardio, and nutrition are essential. The last thing I want to talk about is frequency, intensity, and time. If you remember nothing else from this conversation, if you want to get the best shape possible and you want to have a great summer physique and finish off the summer strong, make sure that you understand frequency, intensity, and time. The amount of frequency that you go to the gym, how frequently you go to the gym, the level of intensity that you apply. You ever see people at the gym just going through the motions?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, you want to have a certain level of intensity when you're at the gym. So intensity. And then time, the amount of time you spend at the gym. Everyone's different, 30 minutes, 60 minutes, so forth. Everyone's different. So frequency, intensity, and time, that will help enable you to achieve your physical goals, whether they're cosmetic or you're training for an event or you're just an everyday athlete. Frequency, intensity, and time are critical. So that's all I wanted to share with everyone today. But again, thank you for allowing us, America's Next Great Trainer, to serve the community. Thank you, Rob, for allowing me to be on the call today. We love what we do. We're very passionate about what we do. And I look forward to talking to everyone soon. Any questions out there?
Well, Jeff, I want to just go over a few things. You hit some very important points. And I also want to add a couple of things in regard to heart rate, which I think is extremely important that people understand, their target heart rate when training. I think the first step, just going over a couple of things that you've mentioned. One, I think everyone should find their resting heart rate. And the way that you do that is waking up basically 3 mornings in a row and then taking your pulse for 30 seconds and then, of course, multiply it by 2. That would be your resting heart rate. That would give everyone a point to know where the number of beats per minute. And I believe the resting heart rate, the average resting heart rate for a man is 70 beats per minute and a woman is 75 beats per minute. But I'm pretty sure that's correct. And then going back over your target heart rates, the different zones, like you said, to someone training, they want to find their maximum heart rate. So again, as Jeff mentioned, it's 220 minus your age. So to find your maximum heart rate, you would want to take 220, subtract your age, and that will give you your maximum heart rate. Then there's different levels or zones that you would want to be in regards to your training. Obviously, you don't want to be training right away at 85% of your maximum heart rate. So you would work, there's the zones that I look at are zone 1 is maximum heart rate of 0.65 to 0.75, then zone 2, 0.80 to 0.85, and then zone 3, of course, is the ultimate, 85 to 90, which is the highest intensity. But again, like Jeff said, working up to that point of heart rates. I think people just go to the gym and they don't understand, they just go on the treadmill, they just go and they have no idea of what their heart rate is, and it could be putting them in a dangerous situation.
Yeah, Yes, you're exactly right. The resting heart rate is critical. Usually most people are around 70 or 80 resting, unless you're Lance Armstrong or someone like that. You have a really low resting heart rate. But you've got to know that. You've got to know that, and you've got to know your target also. Those are essential. And then your max. You don't want to get into it. You don't have a heart attack. So you've got to know those 3 things for health reasons, but also to achieve your goals. So, yeah, absolutely.
Now, I think, Jeff, let's talk a little bit about trainers. I know that people out there that are listening, a lot of people, they want to get motivated. They want to start leading a healthier lifestyle. I always say the first step is, speak to someone that has some sort of knowledge or education in regards to training to get you started. And then trainers obviously will put their clients through initially an assessment process to evaluate where you are physically. So, a core stability assessment, strength assessment, power assessment, etc. Then depending on the person's goals and objectives, then they'll structure a program suited to that individual's needs. So again, not just jumping in, but I think it wouldn't hurt at all, as I mentioned with Donovan earlier. Happiness is so important, and I believe that in order to be happy, people really have to focus on themselves. And it's not being selfish, it's taking care of yourself and doing things that are going to make you feel better. And when you look better, you just naturally feel better. So I think it's very important that people start paying attention to their, not only feeding their body, the physical element of training and exercise, but also feeding the mind, the heart, and the soul, all those pure positive forms of energy that are out there that you take in that will create your happiness. But again, going back to the trainer, maybe set up an appointment with your local trainer, get an assessment, see where you stand, see what your heart rate is, see what your strength assessment and core stability assessments come out or look like, so you know where you stand physically.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You want to approach it safely. Always safety is a priority. You don't want to take any risk. Get a full assessment, whether it be through one of our trainers or on your own. But you want to make sure that you first and foremost approach it safely and approach it smartly. And Rob, you're 100% right in terms of making sure that you are starting with yourself, understanding, having the right knowledge, because we all know you can't move what you don't know. And if you don't know something, you can't move that forward. You have to know it. You have to be competent, whether it be health and wellness or anything else. So it's essential. We each have that equal amount of time that we have in a day, in a week, and how we choose to spend that tends to lend itself to our happiness, health, and wellness. So it's very important that you spend that in a very balanced way, whether it be spiritual, whether it be mentally, whether even financially, lends itself to your health and wellness. So many people are stressed over the economy or the recession, and it really impacts their health and wellness. So really making sure that you are spending your time in a very balanced way will also help you achieve your health and wellness goals.
Now, Jeff, can people find out more information about yourself, where you train, and et cetera, et cetera? I know that there is information on America's Next Great Trainer website, www.angt.tv. And again, for free information, if you have a question for Jeff or if you have a question for one of our guests, you can email me at robfletcher@angt.tv. Again, Rob Fletcher at ANGT.tv, and you can address it to any one of our guests, and I will be sure to forward it to them, and they will get you an answer very promptly. But again, Jeff, do you have a website or information you would like to share?
Yeah, you can reach me one of two ways, either through the ANG website, click on the trainer's link, and you'll see my profile there, my bio, or through Facebook, Jeff Billingsley on Facebook. There's a couple of apps out there that if you choose to purchase, that you can purchase, that I've got on iTunes. But there's the best way is through either the ANG link or right through Facebook, which will connect you to my Facebook as well, I believe. So it's kind of contact, telephone number, and so forth. And I'd be more than happy to help you achieve your goals, your health and wellness goals, whatever they may be. We'd be more than happy to help you. So please don't hesitate to contact me, and we'll work together in this partnership.
So, Jeff, in closing, just talk real briefly about nutrition. I know a lot of people have questions about supplements, about amino acids, and we can't cover it all, but your thoughts on supplements. Do you take supplements? Do you believe in supplements? What is your thoughts on that?
It's a great question, Rob. I often get to ask this question, whether they're through clients or just through everyday conversation, and I don't believe there's a one-size-fits-all. I believe there are supplements out there that do help individuals, but I believe that it's in moderation. I myself kind of stay away from supplements only because of the artificial ingredients, a lot of artificial ingredients in them. But there are good organic supplements as well, so we don't want to discredit those as well. What I would say, the approach that I would say is, first and foremost, start off with a good, healthy diet, a good, healthy, nutritional diet in a balanced way. So you are getting the proper amount of protein that I talked about before, the proper amount of good carbs. When I say good carbs, I mean those slow digesting carbs, not fast carbs. Those white bread, the white pasta, those are fast, what we call fast carbs. You want to get those slow digesting carbs. Those carbs you can use for energy. Things like almonds, brown rice, whole grain oatmeal. Those are the things that you really want to attach yourself to. So carbs. So slow digesting carbs are essential. Protein, lean protein, and then other things that two things that I call that are difference makers in my mind. And I don't want to get too far off the subject, Rob. I know you asked a question around supplements, but two things that are real difference makers in terms of getting yourself to the next level, and that is really understanding and having great knowledge around sodium intake.
Yes.
And refined processed
sugars.
Sugar. These are the two
Deadly.
enemies in my mind.
Deadly.
These are enemies, and there's so
Deadly.
much lack of knowledge around sodium. You know, the average person does not need any more than 2,300 milligrams of sodium. Now, there's a difference when I say the average person. People of color, minorities, the FDA has lowered that down to 1,500 milligrams of sodium. Sodium can be, if you take two slices of your average bread, they each contain on average 200 grams of sodium on each. Soda has sodium in it. Diet soda has sodium in it. We're talking 1,500 grams for if you're a minority. We're talking 2,300 grams if you were an average person of sodium in a day. You'd be surprised how much sodium is in our foods, in stuff like bread, soda, anything in a can. I strongly advise you to stay away from anything in a can, and then refined processed sugar. That to me, that's no different than a drug.
A danger. It is, Jeff. There's no question about it. It's addictive. It's also addictive.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Refined sugar is so unhealthy. I mean, we all see it, but it is so unhealthy. There's nothing positive about it. And refined sugar is found in so many different things. People are just so unaware.
Well, I think right, not to interrupt you, Jeff, but I think it's also the fact that people really have to start paying attention to what? Read labels, read labels.
Yeah, as I said before, you can't move what you don't know. And if you want to move your health in the right direction, you've got to know what that looks like first. You've got to be confident, like you said, Rob. You've got to be knowledgeable. You can't move that forward if you don't know what it looks like. So the first step is getting the proper education. Get yourselves involved in either one of our trainers, myself. We have plenty of great trainers on the team that can help you, partner with you in educating yourself around nutrition and supplements and whatever your knowledge is that you're trying to gain. We're more than happy to help you with that. So artificial, the last thing I'll talk about, artificial ingredients. I mean, a lot of people don't know they possess free radicals. And where free radicals float around in your body, they're potential cancer-causing agents.
Cancer-causing. Exactly.
So when you ask me, Rob, about my thoughts on supplements, I believe in living a healthy lifestyle. It's not about so much cosmetic reasons. It's about living a healthy lifestyle. So when you're taking these supplements and they have free radicals in them, and they are potentially cancer-causing agents, you're doing more harm than good. And a lot of people don't know that. They're just taking whatever they can take off the shelf, and they really lack the knowledge. Now, there are certain things that you can do to help offset free radicals, like antioxidants, like blueberries, dark berries, dark chocolate. But nevertheless, you don't want to do damage to your body. It damages your kidneys. It possesses free radicals, like I said before. So be very mindful of, if you are taking supplements, do your proper homework. Get the proper knowledge that you need before you take these supplements.
Well, Jeff, I can't tell you, a pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing that awesome information with our listeners, and very much looking forward to working with you in the future. Very excited, and I'm sure we'll see each other. As a matter of fact, we will see each other very, very soon.
Thank you. Thank you again, once again, and we again are delighted to serve our communities, and have a great day, and good luck whatever your health and wellness goals are, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I'll talk to you soon.
You too. Bye-bye.
That was Jeff Billingsley. What a great, great interview with both Donovan Green from Dr. Oz and Jeff Billingsley. Awesome wealth of information, and I hope some of you are writing these some important tips down in regards to your health and wellness, especially in regards to eating habits and what you're putting into your bodies, because it's ultimately going to affect, it does affect your mental health and your well-being, but it also has a significant impact on your body physically to the point of cancer causing. So again, pay close attention to what you're eating, what you're putting into your body. Exercise, not only physically, but exercise your mind, your heart, and your soul, and open yourself up and to take care of you. I cannot emphasize enough how important it is putting yourself first. It's not a selfish thing. It just means doing what it takes to make you happy. And if it's a career change, if it's a lifestyle change, if it's a change in a relationship, change is difficult. Change requires confidence, but you have to believe. This is Rob Fletcher, ANGT Radio, 93.5 WTBQ, where we are here to inspire you. Until Tuesday, I will see you then.
Your community radio station since 1969.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. A new study shows what the average weight gain can be for people who quit smoking.
To kick the habit may be great, but British and French researchers have found one consequence is weight gain.